Hi Tribe, welcome back to my channel. Kena Mapalomaku. So a couple of days ago, I got a DM from one of the tribe members on Instagram. Remember to follow me there, Mapalomaku. And her question was, can you do a video talking about how to start saving or investing for your kids? So as a mom myself, I thought, you know what, that's a great idea. So I'll be doing a video on that and just kind of giving some practical tips and also what I'm doing as well. Okay, so first and foremost, I get right into it. First and foremost, number one, you need to educate your kids about money. Your kids are capable of learning about money, okay, no matter what age. Obviously, I'm not talking about a 1 year old, but I think from a very young age they can really start grasping the concepts of how money works or what money is. So start them off as early as possible. Obviously it has to be age appropriate, but start talking to your kids about money. It is a skill that they will use for life. It is a skill that they will appreciate, and they're not teaching your kids about money, so you might as well as a parent do that for them. Okay, and God forbid anything happened to you and you've accumulated all this money for them and they get their hands on it and they lose their minds, and it will feel like what you've done is for nothing. So educate them about money, talk about money at home. It shouldn't be a taboo. Again, remember to make it age appropriate. Okay, I'll actually give you an example. Just yesterday I went to the shops and I told my son that, you know what, mommy's coming, I'm gonna go get you some pajamas. And he says to me, but mommy, I also need Spider-Man pants. And I'm like, actually guy, you don't need any more pants. But I entertain him. I listen. I'm like, okay, so does mommy have money to buy you pants? He's like, oh, you don't have money. I said, no, I only have money to buy you pajamas because that's what I've planned for. And it's like, oh, okay, so we can buy the extra pants. I'm like, no, not right now. Okay, I come back and I pick him up because I went to drop him off at my sister's place. And in the car, he finds 2 rand. He finds a 2 rand coin. I mean, my son is almost 5. He finds a 2 rand coin, and he screams like, "Mommy, look, it's $2." They watch too much American TV, by the way. So yeah, he's like, I found $2. You can put it in my money box so that we save it, and one day you can buy me Spider-Man pants. Okay, so he's very young, but he already gets that you need to save. Somewhere in his mind, he knows that you need to save. He knows that that money needs to go into the money box so that once I've accumulated a little bit, we can go get him some pants. So your kids are capable of learning about how money works. So don't leave it to Charles, don't leave it to someone else, because it's not gonna happen, or it's not as easy. Okay, the education system is not teaching our kids how to handle money. Okay, we are here because we had to learn how to manage our own money. We had to learn how money works. Okay, so that's the first thing. Educate your kids about money. Make money conversations at home a regular thing. Don't be ashamed to talk about money. Yeah, okay, I can go on and on about that, but yeah, that's the first thing. Secondly, start as early as you can. Okay, as soon as your kids get that birth certificate, you can start investing for them. All right. And the reason really is that compound interest is amazing. It works its magic. From a young age, you put about $300, $500, whatever you can afford. If you can afford that 100,000 or whatever it is, but start them off as early as possible so that over time those funds accumulate compound interest. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, invest in your own kids' names. Okay, so if your son gave John, invest in John's name, don't invest in your name. Number 1, I've seen it with myself. Previously I used to be like, oh no, part of this investment is Moeleti, so I know that is for him. But there's something that is more tangible when you see your son's name on that fund or that investment. You don't even want to touch it, because you don't really want to steal from your child's future. Because one thing about us as parents, something comes up and you think, oh no, let me exit that investment or let me take that savings out. But once it's in their name, it really changes your psychology. That's the first thing. But the second thing, and a very, very important thing, is that if you have any type of investment in your name and it's meant to be for your child or your children, tax implications of that can be messy. Okay, once you, like, let's say 15 years later, you want to gift them this money or you want to transfer it, you will trigger many things: donations tax, capital gains tax, all sorts of things. So just make sure that you have those type of investments in their name. Okay, now what type of investment vehicles can you use to invest for your kids? And remember, most of the time I speak about long term, so it means that it's money that's going to go into the market and you want it to grow over time. Okay, so the first thing, tax-free savings accounts. Okay, if I was a new mom starting on my investment journey for my child, the first thing I would do is get a tax-free savings account for them in their name. Remember, it should be in their name, not your name that you're going to give them one day, in their name, because of the tax implications. Okay, so a tax-free savings account, maximum of 36,000 every single year. And it might not seem like a lot of money, but remember, if you start off your child when you get their birth certificate or when they're 1 or 2 or very early age, it means that that money gets to earn compound interest over time. Okay, so for example, right now, let's say you've just had a baby and you take out a tax-free savings investment for them. From now until about 13.8 years, you would have contributed almost 500,000. So if you max it out every single year and you contribute 36,000, in almost 14 years time, you'd have 500,000 just on the contribution. Now add interest to that, compound it on top of that. That makes a big difference. It's a significant amount of money would give to your kids. Okay, so that's the first investment vehicle that I would 100% recommend. Okay, then the second thing, exchange traded funds. Exchange traded funds, basically they just track an index, so you can track the top 40 companies on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, you can track the S&P, you can track international markets, or you can track properties, pretty much just about any instrument under the sun. Okay, and also with exchange traded funds like unit trusts, which I'm going to talk about now, there are no limitations to it. Okay, but the biggest advantage, remember, to a tax-free savings account, that it's completely tax-free. Okay, so exchange traded fund would be my next best option for if I wanted to invest for my child, which I'm actually doing. I don't even know what I'm talking about when I say that would be my option. It is an option that I'm exercising at the moment. Tax-free savings account and exchange traded funds, and also a unit trust. A unit trust, unlike an exchange traded fund, where an exchange traded fund tracks an index, with a unit trust you buy a unit of a share. So you have access to property, equity, bonds, and cash. Okay, and all of these things, you can start from 500 bucks. Some, I know, with easy equities, you can start off with 250 rand on exchange traded funds. So please don't make an excuse and say, no, I don't have money. You probably do have money. Okay, and if you can contribute more, please do. You know, I always try to have you put a little bit more away. Because it does make a big difference in the long run. I know a lot of people are interested in property. Property has its own things and challenges, and both advantages and disadvantages. I'll give you an example why I say that. So we are about to pay off a flat, a 1-bedroom flat, which we are renting at the moment. And the question we're asking ourselves is, it's going to trigger the fact that it's going to increase our personal income tax. Okay, we didn't buy it into a trust, we didn't buy it under a company. So those are the things that you need to start thinking about even before you buy those properties. So putting properties in a proper investment vehicle, in a vehicle, that's also something we need to talk about. Not just say, oh no, you're investing in property, because I mean, come on. Okay, there are tax implications to these things. And I always say, I think in my previous videos, we cannot continue having conversations about investments and not talk about the tax implications of these investments. So please make sure that you educate yourself about the tax implications as well of this investments. Okay, we're not going to get into that, but what I will do, I will put a link below on one of the live sessions that we did for Money Makeover, a competition that City Press and Absa runs with Maya. We did it last week. It's very informative. Please, if you're interested in getting into property, go watch that live session. I'll link it below. Okay. And another thing you should consider when you're thinking about investing, saving, or thinking about your child's future, securing your child's future, is life insurance. Okay, life insurance is, if anything happens to you, you know that your kids can maintain a similar lifestyle to what you would want her to for them to have. That they continue, outside of you, of course. They continue a decent lifestyle. Okay, and with life cover, it's simple. Go to an insurance company, get yourself life cover. But what I do want to say about life cover is that you need to make sure you nominate your beneficiaries. That's a very important thing. Don't just take life cover for the sake of taking life cover. Make sure your beneficiaries are updated. If you have another child, if anything changes, make sure that beneficiaries are nominated. The reason, again, we're going to go back to tax. If you do not nominate beneficiaries on your life cover, the funds or the proceeds of your life cover go into the estate, and it triggers estate duty. It goes through executors' fees as well. So make sure that your kids are beneficiaries on there. Okay. And lastly, have a will. We did not talk about wills enough as Black people, okay? I think most of the time when people start thinking about wills, they think, oh goodness, oh, this one thinks I'm going to die. You're not going to die, okay? You're just really making sure that you cover all your bases. You make sure it's actually a responsible thing to do when you have a will. Having a will is just a responsible thing to do. And on top of that, if you have minor kids, if you do not have a will, your kids will go, anyone can be their guardian, okay? And it might be the aunt that you don't like. It might be the one that you feel like, you know what, this would not be a perfect fit for my child. So having a will, it gives you that opportunity for you to appoint who you want the guardian to be for your kids. And also, because remember now you've saved, invested for them, it also gives you an opportunity to say when you want your kids to have access to this money, okay? God forbid anything happens to you when your child is 5 or 10 or 15. You don't want them to have access to all this money too quickly. In your will, you can state that after, when they turn 21 and they finished varsity, they can have a portion of this money, or they can they can buy a property with this money. So having a will is very, very, very important. Okay, tribe. So those are my 6 things that you should consider when it comes to investing, saving for your kids. Number 1, educate them. Number 2, start as early as possible. Invest in their own name. Then we spoke about the different types of investments, which are tax-free savings account, exchange-traded funds, and unit trusts. Number 5, life insurance is important. And number 6, have a will. Okay, you're not going to die by trusting one. Make sure that you get it done. Okay, you do it once and you update it once when things change, but that's it. It's just a piece of paper, but a very powerful piece of paper. Okay, tribe, if you like the videos, please do remember to subscribe, click on the notification bell, and if you like these videos, click like, okay? And remember, I'm also on Instagram, Mapalomaku, on Twitter. I'm actually a little bit active now on Twitter, Woman and Finance, and also on Facebook, Woman and Finance. I will see you soon, tribe.